wasn't sure whether to put this here or on the other channel, where the more think piece style videos tend to go now, alongside the music, of course. But I felt this had a place here because it is about media. It may not be a review or an analysis, but if I could justify an hour-long conversation with a friend about Batman, I'm sure I can justify me talking about Skyrim in different ways. Because whilst I will still talk about my original video idea towards the end, I've had other thoughts, about what its relationship with me has been over the years. And I know I've talked before on this channel about my gaming addiction, really. It was that. That's what it would be diagnosed as now. Where I was spending 12, 14, 16-hour days just playing Skyrim, much to Amy's chagrin. I was just slaving away at it, just doing that for hours on end, not really caring about my well-being or the world around me at all. And that's a bad thing. Like I say, that would be diagnosed as gaming addiction now. But in a weird way, with one condition sort of cancelling out the other, my focus ability, thanks to my fibromyalgia, is a lot lower. And 2.5 hours is my absolute cap before my brain starts going to mush. It's normally about an hour and a half, where it starts to be a bit difficult to figure out what's going on next. But, like I say, I do have a hard limit now, and that is good all round. Would I still put in long-term gaming sessions without that? I'd hope not. I think I'm a lot more balanced now, but it is still something I did and something I'm aware of. And like I say, I'm glad in a way that the one has cancelled out even the chance of the other, so I don't fall into bad habits again. But it is something that, like a lot of us, I keep coming back to. When I'm short of funds or just really don't know what to play, it's very easy to reinstall it and just, again, get lost in the world. Once you've been in the same game over and over again a few times over the years, you know the map like the back of your hand, especially if you tend to do no fast travel runs. So it's hard to make it feel new, but that's where mods come in. I, like many, have a vast array of what I call essential mods. To some, essential mods may be like, 10, 20... Mine's in triple digits, because each one of those does a function that makes the game playable and interesting for me. And some, of course, some mods have dependencies on others, so I have to install those so the other ones work. One of the particular things that's been helpful this time around is Winter Sun, where you add sort of faiths and you can actually roleplay a cleric, because that's how to make it fun and fresh on repeat playthroughs. Give yourself a role-playing idea. You are a cleric of RK, for example, which is what I've chosen this time. So mods can help your role-playing experience. Mod can make the combat more fluid, more challenging if that's what you want. And there's so many things out there that can tailor the game to make the experience as you want it. And that's not even counting really ambitious projects like Beyond Skyrim Bruma, with hopefully the rest of Tamriel releasing at some point over the next few decades, because it's a lot of work. I'm not mocking them, don't get me wrong. It's a lot of work and it's going to take a long time to get there. And you've got Enderall, Falskar, Worm's Tooth, Moonpath to Elsewhere, all these things that just add more to the game for you to do. A lot of the time, sourcing voice acting as well. So there's a lot that goes into this, and a lot of these people are doing it out of passion. They're not expecting to get paid. And I know I did a video way back when about paid mods. I'm not going to harp on about that again. I do like the idea of donating if you can, though, and I will say that. But I need those things, to make the game fun for me. And also, I need the Intex Be Gone mod, because, ugh. But that's what I need. This is my setup, and it just makes the world more believable, more fun, and just gives me a different experience. And that's what can keep you coming back. Even though the world is basically the same, the main story's there and it's basically the same. The plot of Dawnguard and the Dragonborn expansions are the same, but they are tweaked in a way that makes it acceptable and fun for you. That's what it is. It's your game. You paid your however many pounds or dollars or whatever to have that. And I've always had this thing of, if you want to play a game a certain way, this came out fairly recently, it's a couple of years old I'm sure now, about the whole Dark Souls and Sekiro and all that kind of things, about challenging games. If you want to play something on easy, you've paid the money for it. If that's how you're going to get your money's worth, do it. By all means. There are games that I've tried playing on normal difficulty first, and the curve is just too much for me. So if there's like tweakable mini options, I'll just drop a few of those down rather than going full too easy. But if there isn't that, just go straight to easy, and I can still enjoy the plot and the story. If it's a game that has that. If it's, something that's just mindless fun for a few hours, the difficulty curve will probably mean that I just shelve it and never come back to it. But that's what I play games for. I play games to go into a world, to have a story, to have an experience that's fun. And I will play it the way I want to play it because I'm the one who's forked out the money to get it. Even if it's come through, say, the Humble Bundle, I've still forked out the $12 converted into my currency, to actually get all of those games. So, back to what I was originally going to talk about, and many of you may have come to the conclusion already based on what I've just said. Shirley goddamn Curry. Many of you may know this name, especially if you're watching a video about Skyrim, and you may know what happened sort of within the last sort of month regarding her. She is an 86-year-old woman who is a proud gamer. She plays what she wants, how she wants. But on the internet, that's not good enough. You've got to play it the way that other people want, because they're the ones watching your videos. If you don't do what they want, they'll just go away. Well, maybe they should. This absolutely adorable woman with the kindest heart in the world, who has a petition to Bethesda. She didn't make it. Her fans have made a petition for Bethesda to put her in the next Elder Scrolls game. They love her for the most part, but there is a toxic element in that fan base that is saying, play it like this, min-maxing, do this, play these games. So much that she's like, I'm dialing down. I'm playing this because it's fun for me, and this is stopping the fun. Way back when I did, the videos may still be up, I'll check, and if so, I'll link them. They're terrible, I'll admit that, but they're there. I did a very brief few episodes of a Skyrim roleplay Let's Play. And, I even started a second channel previously, dedicated to gaming, which I then folded. And I was thinking to myself, now that I've got 2 channels up and running, it's not that bad. I can deal with this just about juggling, the sort of videos and everything. Especially as I'm not tied to a hard schedule for both. And I was like, maybe I could do a gaming channel. I was like, no, because I'm going to get the people. This is even before I saw this thing about Shirley. I will get the people saying, play like this, do this, why aren't you min-maxing this way? Why aren't you doing the easy exploit to level up really quick so you can just go and smash a giant in the face? Because I don't want to. And I don't think I would deal with that. My desire to do that was already waning, but reading about what people have done to this unassuming old woman who loves to play games, if they'll do it to her, I'm easy prey, and I don't need that in my life. I mean, yeah, I get comments that are less than stellar. I get, negative comments on these videos, but that's part of the territory. They're not telling me how to do a video, and I like suggestions on what to, analyze or review. I invite that. I welcome it. But that's very different to someone saying, play the game that you paid money for this way. And I'm not up for that. And if you're one of those people, take a long, hard look at yourself. Because that's not good. You're not a big person. You're not, it's not a case of, I'm just trying to help. She's enjoying herself the way she's doing it. You're not helping. You're hindering. And like I say, you're putting people off doing this. All that's going to be left on the landscapes are, the big gamers out there, the streamers and what have you. Those are the only ones that are going to be left, and they don't take any nonsense from anybody. Maybe think about the actions and what you're putting out into the world, because what you put out is what you get back. Negativity breeds negativity a lot of the time. So, yeah, I know I've ended a bit ranty, but You know, it's there. It's the original thing I wanted to do a video on, and it's appalling. So if you ever feel the temptation when you're watching someone play a game, whether it be a stream or a video, don't go in and tell them how to play it. Unless they're making really, really, really glaring errors and just aren't mechanically getting the game, and you're genuinely helping, keep your opinions to yourself. Unless they've invited advice or, recommendations. Obviously, at that point, it's fair game. But just think about what you're doing and stop tormenting lovely old women. But that's all for today. I don't want to get much further into that. But yeah, thank you very much for letting me have a bit of a rant and talk about one of my favourite games, of course. And I'll be back next time with something entirely different. So until then, take care.